Well, the media as a whole really gets the First Amendment right, the right to free speech. But when it comes to the second, the right to bear arms, not so much. It's an issue Katie Couric undertook in a recent documentary, and while well-intentioned, she tipped her hand.
The hour-long documentary, Under the Gun, Both Sides of the Gun Debate, first aired on cable channel Epix.
I'm going to start by asking, how many of you all are carrying guns now?
In promoting the documentary, Katie Couric said she went in with no biases.
I wanted to have an open mind. I wanted to understand the psyche of gun owners in this country and what they were afraid of.
Afraid maybe that you would twist their words, because that's exactly what happened, shifting a 9-second pause from one piece of an interview to another.
How do you prevent felons or terrorists from purchasing a gun?
Here's how that question and answer really came down.
Or terrorists from walking into, say, a licensed gun dealer and purchasing a gun?
Well, one.
Critics pounced, calling the edits an outright distortion.
There is no other word to describe it.
It also played right into the hands of conservative press critics.
Think of all the times they never got caught for the last 30 or 40 years. So we caught them.
Under the Gun director Stephanie Sodig said she didn't mean to make anyone look bad. And Couric apologized, acknowledging the 9 seconds did not accurately represent what happened. Still,
I think that this is a very lame apology.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
This was horrible. And Katie Couric claims that she questioned it during a screening, and that the director said, oh, well, we just added a beat. You don't add any beats if there's an answer that comes right up. Why would you? And that wasn't even the video from the end of that question. That was some setup shot or something. It made the people look really, really bad. It made them look dumbfounded and confounded and, speechless when they weren't at all.
It's like remember when was NBC that edited the surveillance video of Zimmerman, the creep who shot Trayvon Martin, I forget exactly what they did, but it was egregious. And
the 9/11 call.
Yeah. Right, okay, right. And that Farhead on the Fox panel has a point. How many times has this happened that we didn't know about it? I suppose the same could be asked to the conservative-leaning press. But, I mean, look, you've got a juicy issue there. If you can't convey it in a powerful way without resorting to that. I mean, Callie, you worked on documentaries.
Absolutely.
Have you ever seen anything like that?
Not like that. Here's what I thought. Because when I caught the tail end when I first heard the story, so I thought what they were doing was cutting, that it had been cut for an advertisement for promoting the show. Now, a la Barbara Walters. What do you think that she said to so-and-so? Then you see them and it's silent. You don't know. Then you have to watch the show to find out. Right. So I said, well, that must be, it couldn't be that it was in the thing, in the real show. So when I looked at it, I said, what? And then 8 seconds?
Yeah, or 9 even.
Well, that is outrageous. It really is. And
they pulled the thing down from Epix, by the way. Anybody heard of that? It's some subsidiary of Viacom.
I don't know. First of all, I don't know why Katie didn't remember that she was in the room with them and they answered the question right away.
Apparently.
Okay, but that bothers me.
Well,
she did remember, but she allowed the producer to do it anyway.
Well, even if you're writing or putting together an opinion piece, I mean, and she stated that she was setting out to do something completely objective. Right. Even if you're doing something with a strong point of view, you give your argument more credibility if you give the other side its fair share and its due. That's just, I mean, that's basic opinion journalism. And so she really undermined any kind of point that she and the filmmaker were trying to make by not only not giving them their share, but forcibly manipulating them to look bad. I mean, there is no credibility left, and it's really going to hurt. If their intention
Donald Trump
was
called
advocacy,
her a third-rate has-been.
If their intention is advocacy for gun control, they completely hurt their position.
And I have to say that the guy who was in charge of the group, which is the anti-gun control, no, whichever one, I don't know, the conservative gun control, he was very gracious. I thought in his response saying, we thought the interview was quite fair. So how shocked we were to see this. This was unnecessary.
I don't like to engage in the sort of criticism that requires us to read people's minds. Nevertheless, I find it very hard to believe this wasn't done deliberately. That 9 seconds is absolutely devastating. It looks like they've
Of course it was deliberate. What do you mean?
Oh, and the reactions, they all look,
Well,
oh,
I
you
mean,
got us.
Well,
Yeah.
no. Katie Couric and her producer are saying it wasn't done to make them look bad.
Oh.
It was to create a sense of drama.
Oh, yeah.
Which
To make them look bad.
They absolutely look like, oh my God, we just got hit
Yeah.
with a question.
We
that
never
we
thought
can't
of that.
Yeah, never
possibly
thought of that,
answer.
yeah.
Come on.
It was just awful. Now, in terms of how many times has this happened that we don't know about, given that this was going to appear on Epix, I don't think we would have ever known
No.
about this either. I don't even know what Epix is. But
I had to look it up.
But I guess we'll never see it now.
So does this hurt Katie Couric the
Yes.
way that it hurt Dan
I'd
Rather?
say-
I mean, is this the end of Katie Couric's career, the
Well,
way
I
that Dan
think,
Rather?
when was the last time you caught something
career's
that she
already
did
over.
anyway?
Well,
Who's ever seen
I don't think
anything
it's
she
the end
did?
of her
global,
career, but
what
it's
she's the
serious.
global anchor on Yahoo, right?
Don't
I
ask
think
me.
it's serious.
Yeah.
I do think it's serious. It won't end her career, but I do think it's serious.
Well, they spent a lot of time and money on this documentary, and they promoted it. She was on the Today Show and all that, so that's a bite, you know.
Yeah, no, absolutely.